Linda Eastman did not meet Paul McCartney by chasing the Beatles for an autograph. By 1967, she was a working American photographer who had already photographed major musicians and was building a reputation for relaxed and natural portraits. That May, she traveled to London on an assignment covering the city's music scene. On May 15th, she went with friends connected to the Animals to see Georgie Fame and the Blue Flames at the Bag o' Nails, a small Soho club regularly visited by musicians, and Paul happened to be there with some friends, and the two noticed each other across the room. As Linda's group prepared to leave, Paul stopped her. He introduced himself and invited everyone to continue the night at another London club called the Speakeasy. It was hardly an elaborate romantic plan, though, because Paul simply saw that she was about to disappear, and so he took his chance. But at the Speakeasy, the group heard Procol Harum's new recording of A Wider Shade of Pale. Neither Paul nor Linda knew who had made it, but the record became permanently connected with the night they met, and they later treated it as their song. Linda also visited Paul's house afterward and was impressed by his collection of paintings by René Magritte, giving them an early connection beyond music and physical attraction. 4 days later, they encountered each other again at Brian Epstein's house in Belgravia, where the Beatles were holding a press launch for Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Linda had been trying to secure permission to photograph the group, and the event gave her the opportunity. Several of her photographs from that gathering became important early images of the Beatles, including candid pictures of Paul sitting informally while she worked. Despite meeting twice in 4 days, they did not immediately become a couple. Linda returned to New York when her assignment ended, while Paul remained in his long and increasingly troubled relationship with actress Jane Asher. But their paths crossed again in May 1968 when Paul and John Lennon traveled to New York to promote Apple Corps. Linda photographed Paul during the visit, and they renewed their connection. The real turning point came the following month when Paul was in Los Angeles on Apple business and arranged to see her again. They spent time together at clubs, aboard a boat near Catalina Island, and at the Beverly Hills Hotel. By then, the meeting was no longer just a pleasant memory from London. After Paul's engagement to Jane Asher ended publicly that July, he invited Linda to visit him in England. She arrived in late September while the Beatles were recording the White Album, and from that point their relationship became serious. Linda was different from many people surrounding Paul because she already had a career and a child and a life of her own. Paul admired her independence and her relaxed attitude, and he formed a close bond with her young daughter Heather. He visited Linda's family in New York in October 1968, and within a few months, Linda and Heather had joined him in London. Paul and Linda married on March 12, 1969, less than 2 years after that night at the Bag o' Nails. Their story was not quite love followed by an instant courtship. It was a chance meeting, a year apart, and then a reunion that convinced both of them to change their lives. They remained married until Linda's unfortunate passing in 1998.